Well, hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Home with Kimberly. I'm so glad you're here today because I've gotten inspired to get my hydroponic garden going again. I'm in the mood to grow some things, and it is about mid-December. Not the greatest time to try to plant anything outside, but this is perfect for those times like now where I just want to get something growing, something fresh and green, and this provides me with the means to do that. I just ordered a big pack of these little bulk grow sponges off of Amazon. I can link that down below if you're interested. And you get these, and this makes it to where you can grow pretty much anything you want to grow. You just buy the bulk sponges and then any kind of seeds that you want to put inside of these. So I've been soaking these in water for a few minutes just to get them ready to put our seeds in. And I do have a video, a more in-depth video about when I first set up my hydroponic garden, so I will put that down in the description box below if you want to go back and watch that. I'm not going to get quite as detailed on the process of setting this up today, but we are going to decide together what we are going to get growing in this today. So let me pull my seeds out here and let's take a look and see what options we have and what looks like a good idea. So I'm just going to start pulling all of these seeds that I have out of this baggie. I know some of these seeds are from the garden, the little outdoor garden I did earlier this year when I was still in Arizona. And I'll link that video down below if you're interested in seeing that. So some of these probably aren't going to be quite that practical to put in my hydroponic, but we're just going to go through them. Okay, so I have still some tiny Tim tomato plants. These basically kind of came out like, you know, little grape tomatoes, like a little grape tomato. They did get relatively tall to where I kind of had to lean them over in this. So not sure about that. Let's set this aside and see what else we have. So in this bag we have, what is this? Oh, lettuce. It's mesclun lettuce. I think this is probably just like a combination of the, like you get in a salad mix, those type of lettuces. So this is probably a yes. I'm gonna set this one aside in my yes pile. I do want to plant some fresh lettuces. Okay, so I already know as I'm pulling these out and seeing some of these are definitely going to be yeses because I've still got some fresh herbs in here, which makes me very excited. So cilantro, definite yes. I'm going to plant some of those. Parsley, definite yes. And I cook, you know, I love doing a lot of cooking here. I use a lot of fresh herbs, and it's so convenient to have this kind of stuff on hand that you're growing yourself because it's so expensive in the grocery store. So I'm super excited. I still have all these herbs left. Basil, absolutely. Thyme, absolutely. And I actually have a little thyme plant that I had bought from the grocery store. I'll show you here. And I have clipped the fire out of that thing to where there's not a whole lot left. So I definitely need to get some more thyme going. And then we've got, looks like broccoli. You know, I've never tried to grow this in a hydroponic. Maybe I'll do some research to see if that's something that would even be plausible. I just don't know. Oh, here's some more lettuce. I'm gonna add that to my mix, definitely. Ooh, yay! Rosemary, absolutely going to plant that. Spinach. I want to say I tried this before. I may put in one of my pods some spinach just to see how we go, because if I could get some fresh spinach to clip off, that would be awesome. So I'm going to try this and we'll see how this turns out. I've got peas. I'd say that's a no-go. Radish, no. Green onion, I doubt it. Again, maybe that's one I'll research. I'll research green onion and broccoli for a hydroponic little garden like this, see if I come up with anything. Carrots are a no, turnips are a no, and then peas. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 10 different items. No, I'm not going to do the tomatoes, so potentially 9. I'm going to look up the broccoli and green onion just to see if that's something plausible that I could do. But if not, I do want to fill up all. I have 12 pods that I can plant. So I'll double up on a couple of things if I don't end up doing the broccoli and green onion. So let me research into that real quick and we'll see if that's even something plausible, and then I'll take you along. We're going to get this set up. Okay, so we are ready to set this up and get it going. I did research on the broccoli and green onions. You can start broccoli in here, it said, but you would need to transplant it out, which makes sense because it's going to outgrow your little area. You know, the broccoli plants can get pretty thick on the bottom, so and taller, so it would outgrow this, it said, so you would need to transplant it. So I'm not going to do that one. However, it did say green onions should do great in one of these, so I am going to plant the green onions. So let's get started in getting our little, actually I'm not going to put that on yet. Okay, so of course it comes with your little plastic things and your little pot of dirt. I am going to stick that down in there. So I'm going to get all of my dirt in the pods and put them down in here. So I have the Lasha Hope brand hydroponic garden and not the Arrow Garden brand, which is the more well-known brand. It's they're both hydroponic gardens. But I know for mine it said to soak the soil. I think it said to soak the soil on mine for like 6 hours or something crazy, which I don't even think I did that. So I can't remember if on the actual Arrow Garden soil pods you're even supposed to have to soak those. And now I'm disappointed to realize, see how long these are? So these are the actual Arrow Garden brand little pod holders and soil, and you'll see the difference. So this is what came with my Lasha Hope brand. See how different they are, just different shape. This is much smaller. And I just realized I only have 9 of these of the Arrow Garden ones. So I'm wondering perhaps to do an experiment. Huh? We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it because I don't have 3 more of these and I want to use all of these pods, so we'll see how this turns out. We will see how this turns out, and I probably need to order 3 more of these of the Arrow Garden. Honestly, if I had to do it over again, or if I invest in another hydroponic garden, which I may do at some time, I'm really interested in getting one of like the really big tall ones because that would just be awesome. But I'll probably stick with the actual hydroponic brand just because their stuff is so much easier to find. Like to find these replaceable dirt pods and the pod holders and stuff is super easy. I can't even find like these Lasha Hope, this off brand, I can't even find it. So I would recommend going with a more well-known brand if you're going to get something like this. But I digress. So let's start planting our vegetables. We're going to start with the spinach, and I'm going to do probably 3 seeds. Should I do 2 or 3? I guess I'll start out with 2, at least 2, and just put them right down in the little hole. Let me show you that. Let's see if I can bring you in close enough. I don't know if you can see that or not, but start out with at least 2 seeds per pod because, you know, if one of them doesn't germinate, then hopefully the other one will. Okay, so this is spinach. You know what? I really need to label these. I never ever remember to do this, and I'm so happy that I just thought of this. So let me get a pen. For once, we are going to remember to label our plants because normally I forget And I don't know what they are until they've grown up quite a bit, and then I can start to differentiate what's going on. I guess, oh yeah, I guess they just go on top like that. See, I don't even know how to use these because I never remember to use them. So let me go ahead and write my next one is basil. Oh, this is great. I'm so happy that I'm actually remembering. You know what? No, I'm not going to do basil next. I'm going to do my lettuces. I want my lettuce and my spinach to be next to each other. So we're going to do this mesclun lettuce. This is like a little different mix here. Might do like, look at here. Can you see that? It's kind of got all different types and shapes of seeds here. So I might drop in just a few different ones in this one to have it come up with a nice little mix out of that one. Oh. Labeled. And now our black seeded Simpson. We're going to do this one next. Just sprinkle 2 or 3 in there. There we go. Label that. All right, let's think about how we're going to configure the rest of this. So I just kind of want it to all be nice and neat. So what do we have? We have thyme, rosemary, parsley, basil, cilantro, and green onion. I think I want the green onion on the outside. How many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I use a lot of green onions. Should I do 2 or 3 green onions? Decisions. At least 2 of these pods on the outside over here are going to be green onions. Let me label those. We'll just do it right, where shall we do rosemary? Do it up front here. Oh, these are teeny tiny. Try to get some of these out without dumping them everywhere. Done. Let's see, next to rosemary, I want my thyme. Do our pretty thyme. Oh, these are even tinier. Oh my gosh. Teeny tiny. I have no idea how much I dumped in. I didn't try to do a ton, but these seeds are so tiny. Expensive. Sometimes they're hard to find too. I mean, just like everything else nowadays, it feels like it's always a gamble when you go to the store. Whether or not you're going to find certain items, it's just really nice to have things like this at home that you don't have to worry about it. When you need it, it's there. Hopefully if these grow correctly, and they should. I've had really quite good success with this overall, especially in growing herbs. All right, this is our basil. Let me get another one here. I love fresh basil. Okay, and I already had my little label made up for basil. So let's get that. I'm gonna have to order more of these labels. These are quite convenient. Okay, got our basil. Now, what do we have left? We have parsley and cilantro. You know, honestly, I use a decent amount of both of those. I think I'm going to do these last 4 pods. I'm going to do 2 parsley and the last 2 cilantro, because those are herbs that I use quite a bit. Oh, parsley. Oh, these cilantros are big. They're like huge compared to everything else that I've planted. So let's do 2 cilantros in there, and we're going to do 2 cilantros in this last one. 2 cilantros in there. Let me label those. And I don't know, I really probably shouldn't put that on there, but I'm going to. I stuck it on top there. Well, maybe I'll do the same thing to this one then. I don't know if this one's gonna stick or not because that one's sticking up quite a ways. Maybe. Ish. Okay. So here we have it. That was quick, relatively painless. And let's go through everything that we planted together just now. I'm so excited. We've got our black muskellin lettuce. I guess I'm right. Or no, here's the muskellin lettuce. This is the black seeded lettuce. The muskellin lettuce, our spinach. We've got rosemary, thyme, and basil. And then I've got 2 parsleys, 2 cilantros, 2 green onions. Super excited. So let's finish setting this up. Okay, so now we've got all of our seeds in here. We've got the water. Our seeds in here are labeled. And the last piece of this is to put on the little top piece. This has the lights and the little fan. And it just connects at the top here. It just clicks in like that. Now this little piece here connects into this side. Okay, so I've come across a little snag here. This cord is supposed to connect up in here, but you see how it's all, I don't know what that is, if something got spilled on that. Oh boy, we're gonna see if this is even gonna work or not. Let me see if I can get this cord cleaned up because it needs to snap onto this part, helps power this top piece. Let me see if I can get this going and I will let you know. I think my poor little hydroponic garden is all in, all done, because I don't know what happened. This got, I moved cross country, I told you guys. So I think maybe some of my plant food spilled down in this section. I had some plant food in there. It was liquid and I think it spilled. And I'm assuming this piece of the cord must have been laying down in that. So I think it's ruined. I can't even get it plugged in. It's like there's some goop on the inside of this I can't get cleaned out, and I don't even think the connection would be good. So I was just saying, if I get another, I would recommend if you buy one of these to get something like the Arrow Garden, like a well-known brand, because it makes it kind of easier, to get the pods and different stuff like that is very accessible. However, so I was just immediately looking on Amazon, thinking, okay, I'm going to order another hydroponic garden, and I'm going to probably do the Arrow Garden this time. But as I'm looking online at those, number one, they're expensive. The Arrow Garden brand is the most expensive. Number two, I'm finding all of them are either 6 pod or 9 pods. So see how this one I can grow 12 plants at a time. So I'm looking and I'm seeing other garden brands. I'm going to do my research, but I'm going to order another hydroponic garden like ASAP, probably today or tomorrow. I'm going to do my research, but some of the other brands that I was seeing have not only the 12 pods, but this only lifts up to 12 inches, and I noticed a lot of the Arrow Garden brands only lift up to 12 inches as well, but some of the other brands lift up to 24 inches, which opens up a lot more options for growing things, because like my little tiny tomatoes that I showed you, for example, those grow pretty tall. And so if I could lift this up for 24 inches, I think those would do quite well in that. So you win some, you lose some, don't you? I already have these in here. They should probably start to germinate. I mean, they're in the soil, they're in the water. You don't have to worry about having this turned on for the lighting and the fan and stuff until they actually sprout anyways. So I'm gonna order another hydroponic garden. Hopefully it will be shipped soon. I'm gonna let you know. I'll give you an update once I get that ordered, when I can expect that. And then what I'll do is just transfer these pods into my new garden. Let's shift gears. I have a recipe I've really been wanting to try for, it's a Panera Bread copycat recipe for their broccoli cheddar cheese soup. So I'm gonna clean this mess up, get myself changed over, and we are gonna make some broccoli cheddar cheese soup. To my Dutch oven, you can see I've already added in some butter to get melting, and now I'm going to add in a chopped onion, let that saute up and start to get softened, as well as about a cup of shredded carrots. And I did get pre-shredded carrots from the store, just made that a lot easier. And finally to this, I'm going to add in my broccoli, and I ended up just using the entire bag of frozen broccoli that I had purchased. I had showed you in my last grocery haul that they gave me one broccoli crown. Or no, I'm sorry. I ended up using the frozen bag, which was actually what the recipe called for. That would have been enough right there. And then I did just end up cutting up the broccoli crown and adding that as well, just so I didn't have an extra crown of broccoli sitting around and wasting it. So I'm just going to let all of these saute up together, start to soften. Now that I've been letting these vegetables get softened up, I am going to add in some chicken stock and then some heavy cream and milk and give that a good stir. And as always, I will have this recipe linked down for you below in the description box. So we're going to give this a good stir. And then it said to add in the flour, but next time I would actually add the flour first on the vegetables and then add in my liquids. I just prefer doing it that way, but it's fine. It turned out, it thickened up nicely for me. So once you get your flour added in, mixed together, you're going to let this simmer for a little while until that starts to really thicken up, until your vegetables get to the softness that you want them to be at. Next, I did season this with some salt and pepper, give that a good stir, and then I'll come back and retaste everything after this has cooked for a little while. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for a while. I've been waiting for the broccoli and the carrots, vegetables to get softened. So before I add in the cheese, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste test, see if I need to go ahead and readjust any seasonings. You can see how rich, creamy, delicious it looks. Let's give this a taste and see where we're at. That is really quite delicious. I think I'm gonna add in just a little bit more salt. And maybe a little more pepper, and then I'm gonna add the cheese. So I did take the time to hand grate all of this cheese. We only need about 2 cups, so I'm just gonna estimate what I think is 2 cups, and then I'll put the rest away in the refrigerator for another use. Let's say that's about 1. Call that a half. Actually, I'm just gonna use all of that. I think that's close. I mean, it might be a little bit over, but I like it super cheesy and super broccoli-y. That's a word. We're gonna give this a good stir, let all that cheese melt. I'm gonna taste it again, and I think this is gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna show it to you here in my bowl, and we're gonna taste it together and see how this turned out. Okay, I am going to dig into this delicious broccoli cheese soup for you. There she is, gorgeous, beautiful, creamy, cheesy goodness. Let's take a bite. Try to do this left-handed, and I am not left-handed. OMG. It is so good. It tastes just like Panera Bread's broccoli cheddar cheese soup. Highly recommend. I will link this recipe down below. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Perfect for a cold, dreary day, which it is outside. So this is a winner. Definitely gonna make this again. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the rest of my soup. Okay, so to end this video out, I just wanted to show you, this is my hydroponic garden that we just planted. Well, this was done, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago now, probably, that I filmed this originally. And my green onions are growing. I took the little domes off of the one that I saw stuff popping up. My thyme, my basil, lettuces. I don't see spinach popping up yet. But anyways, so these are starting to grow. I've just had them sitting in here in the soil, with the soil down in the water. This is my new hydroponic garden that I ordered online. I'm excited for this one. I said I was gonna look for probably the name brand Arrow Garden, but I realized they're super expensive and they don't go up as tall as I want them to, and most of them don't even plant 12 plants. They only do like 6 or 9. This does 12, and this goes up like over 2 feet, which is awesome. That's kind of a game changer, I think, in the types of plants that I can plant in here. So I'm gonna get this set up and just transfer over my pods to this one, and I'll show you this when it's complete. Okay, you guys, I have my new hydroponic garden set up here, and I can tell you right now, I'm already much more pleased with this one than I am with my previous one. It's thinner. It doesn't take up as much space. So if you look at my other one, you can see how much bigger that is on the base, and it takes up a lot of room. And this one is much more compact. I like that for counter space purposes. It was very easy to put together. The instructions were very clear, which, unlike the other one that I had, the instructions were terrible. They did not explain things very well, so the instructions were clear. I like this little indicator I have on this one, shows me my water level, so when that drops down low, I know I need to refill it. And then I really like the cord on this is just coming out from under the bottom. So on my other one, I had cords like hanging up on the back here, and I didn't like that, and so I don't have any cords on the back. And then what I really like is this. Look how tall that goes up. That is awesome. So I can put my little cherry tomatoes in there. I can just grow a lot more plants now because it gives me the height that enables me to do that. So I am very pleased with this so far. So you can see that I transferred over, these are all the Arrow Garden pods that I had in my other one. I just transferred those over in here, and it does tell you in the instructions on this one that you can transfer other pods. It just tells you to, use the whole entire little dirt patch here, which I did. These I transferred, these are the containers for this particular set. So because they're a little longer, I transferred those 3 into that. But these Arrow Garden ones were long enough, I just left those alone and transferred them over. And like I showed you earlier, for the ones that are starting to grow, I went ahead and took the dome off. And then for the ones that have not quite germinated the seeds yet, I left the little domes on there until those germinate. I did go ahead and put a nutrient solution in here since I have some plants that are germinated. So you're supposed to do your nutrients, I think every 2 weeks it says. And yes, I'm very happy with this garden. So I'm excited to bring you guys along on this new little journey with my hydroponic garden and let you know how my plants end up doing. I appreciate if you took the time and stuck with me to watch this video. I hope you found value in the content that I put out, and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I can't wait to see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.